Halloween Mask Prank. Chapter 1, The Discovery. It was a warm summer afternoon, and Jack was exploring his grandparents' old house. He had always been fascinated by the stories his grandmother told him about the house's history, and he loved finding hidden treasures and secret passageways. Jack was in the storeroom, rummaging through old boxes, when he saw something that made his heart skip a beat. There, behind a pile of dusty boxes, was a scared face staring right at him. Jack froze, his eyes widening in terror. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. It looked like a ghost. Jack slowly approached the face, and it suddenly disappeared. Jack was terrified and ran out of the storeroom as fast as he could. When Jack got to the living room, he saw his grandmother sitting on the couch knitting. She looked up at him and smiled. "What's the matter, Jack? You look like you've seen a ghost." Jack tried to catch his breath and calm down. He told his grandmother about the scared face he saw in the storeroom. She laughed and told him it was probably just his imagination. But Jack knew what he saw, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was not right in that storeroom. Chapter 2, The Suspicion. The image of the scared face in the storeroom haunted Jack for days. He couldn't stop thinking about it and wondering if it was really a ghost. He decided to investigate further and returned to the storeroom with a flashlight. As he looked around, he noticed something strange. There was a mask lying on the ground that looked just like the scared face he saw earlier. Jack picked up the mask and examined it closely. He realized that it was just a Halloween mask and felt relieved. But then, Jack began to suspect that someone had purposely placed the mask in the storeroom to scare him. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was playing a prank on him. Jack decided to keep a close eye on his siblings and see if he could catch them in the act. Days turned into weeks, and Jack watched his siblings closely. But he never caught them in the act of playing a prank. He began to wonder if he was just being paranoid. Maybe the mask had just fallen off a shelf and ended up on the ground. But deep down, Jack still couldn't shake the feeling that someone was playing a trick on him. Chapter 3, The Prank. One day, Jack's suspicions were confirmed. He came home from school to find the Halloween mask sitting on his pillow. Jack's anger boiled inside of him. He knew that one of his siblings had put the mask there as a prank. Jack decided to get revenge by pulling a prank of his own. He waited until his siblings were all asleep and snuck into their rooms. Jack put on the mask and tiptoed around, making spooky noises. His siblings woke up in a panic, screaming and jumping out of bed. Jack couldn't stop laughing at their reactions. The next morning, Jack's siblings were furious with him. They demanded to know why he had scared them. Jack just shrugged and said that he was getting even for the prank they played on him. His siblings didn't find it funny, and Jack knew that he had gone too far. Chapter 5, The Lesson. In the end, Jack learned an important lesson about the power of pranks and consequences. He realized that playing pranks can be fun, but they can also have negative consequences if they go too far. Jack also learned the importance of apologizing and making amends when he realized that he had hurt his siblings' feelings. From that day on, Jack approached pranks differently. He made sure to think carefully about the consequences of his actions before pulling a prank. Jack also started to focus more on making people laugh and smile with his pranks rather than trying to scare or hurt them. In the end, Jack's experience with the scared face in the storeroom taught him an important lesson about empathy and kindness. Jack realized that by making people laugh and feel good, he could spread joy and happiness in the world around him. The end.